So Dave, the other day you told me that you met a difficult student over a difficult case. Can you tell me more about it?
Okay, you see about this, we just had our road savings closing seminar, and on this seminar we actually asked the student to actually do a commitment challenge and an assignment on it. So apparently there's this particular student who actually did the assignment, but instead of doing it on his own, he actually copied a whole chunk from the internet. So he actually plagiarized his whole essay. So when I called him down and interviewed him, he denied everything, and even though we stated all the facts, he still denied. So I told him that okay, we will do the further investigation, and we will inform his faculty. And after that, I got back to my seat. About an hour later, his dad actually called me on the phone and started to scream and shout at me, quite abusive actually, and intend to get a lawyer and all that kind of stuff. So I said that okay, I will write down the minutes of the discussion what we had, and I will actually report back to the director of the office, which is our director. So and then that was it. So I was actually very, very upset because I think I did because it was actually plagiarized exactly from the internet, word for word.
Okay. Is this the first time you got a parent to call you about a student case?
Yeah, actually it was the first time.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what kind of questions or what kind of responses did you give to the parent over the phone about this particular case? What did you tell the parent?
No, actually I didn't got a chance to say anything to the parents. He was just blasting, words, and just keep asking how can you accuse my son of pressurizing the work and all that. So, but before I said no. Before we do that, we had our facts right. So we had all the facts stated, but he insists that no, we didn't do it correctly, and we cannot just accuse his student. And then he just went on saying that okay. So I then tell him that you need to calm down. We want to make an appointment. Let's discuss this. But then he just slammed the phone down. So we just left it at this.
Okay. And for the particular student that you met before the parent called you, what was the last thing that you mentioned with the student after the meeting?
Oh, I said that we will. I said thank you for your time, and we will then do further investigations, and we will get back to you. So I left it at this because I need to go back and then do further checks, and then maybe call him down one more time, interview, and then maybe bring one of the section heads for that module to come in to join in to the conversation.
Okay, so when you were talking to the student over the session, what were the emotions that the student was displaying to you? Was he upset? Did he seem calm, or
no,
did he believe in what you were telling him?
No, he was just in a denial mode. In fact, I think he knew what was this all about because it was very clear that he was. Before I could finish my sentence, he already said he didn't do it. So it's just a very strong personality, and he also had a very bad attitude. Okay. So he was not actually listening to me, and he was just saying, no, I didn't do it. Yeah.
This was despite the fact that you presented the facts to him?
Yeah, presented the facts to him with all the data is there and all the lines that were copied and where it was copied from, even the website that was there. And he still denied.
Okay. I think for this particular case, when the students don't believe in what you're telling them, or they themselves are in denial, usually for other cases from other advisors, it would be helpful for you to maybe schedule another appointment with the student before it became what it became in your case. So for example, after the first session, the student may still be in denial mode. He may still be internally struggling with the fact that he's been called out for plagiarism. So it would be better or more productive to schedule a second meeting. Tell the student after the first meeting that, I think we should have another chat session about this before he goes back home and tell his parent. So I think that might have the effect of alleviating the situation and not having it escalate to the parent, to have the parent to call you back. So this is one suggestion that I have. Another suggestion that I have is for you to email the parent with the facts that are available in this particular case. So for this particular instance, the parent called you over the phone and whatever communications the parent had with you was verbal, and nothing was written in black and white over the email. So I would suggest that perhaps in future communications like this with external parties that are outside the university, perhaps you could consider putting the conversation down in black and white, or communicate via email. Okay, so both sides will have a complete picture of the whole story.
Okay.
What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think that should be I think it's a better way of handling it, the situation. Maybe because when I had a conversation with the student, it didn't give me much time actually for me to actually write down the minutes, because it's just a couple of hours later.
Okay.
In fact, it's just like 2 hours later.
Okay.
Yeah, if I would have quickly sum it up and send an email to the student on what our conversation, and also copy it to the course manager, which is the section that's involved, and I think the situation would not be that. But I did not, because I was, obviously I was involved in other meetings. So by the time I came back to my seat, I got the call from the dad.
Okay. Okay. How did the whole experience make you feel about being a career advisor?
I mean, to me, it's all part and parcel of the job, and I'm actually very. It's also a lesson for me, and also a learning factor. It's all about learning. So for this case, since it's just very new to me, and it's actually makes me realize that there's a certain way to handle difficult students, and obviously with what you have just told me, that I'll take this into note, and I'll also practice this for the next, if I do come across this situation, I will handle it in a better manner, because this is the first time I'm doing it. So that's why I was a little bit affected by it, because the parents were actually calling me, and just started shouting and all that.
Okay. Above and beyond what I just told you about what you could possibly do, what do you think you could have done better to help the student? Let's say if a similar case happens again with another student, what do you think you would have done differently?
I think what I will do differently is that I would actually tell the student that I will then draft the minutes out and we're sending to you, because I think for the fact that I said I'll do further investigation, that maybe got the student a bit more worried, and that's why he told his dad. So he didn't want to get into further trouble. So he used maybe just to tell his dad, so that his dad can help him out in this situation that he's in. So maybe I should tell him that I would actually will draft a minute, and we will send it to you on our conversation for today, and then also say that we will still do further checks. So at least he knows that there will be a message coming up to him. Yeah.
Okay, that's good. Have you met up with any other student that are similarly difficult in this situation, or maybe you can talk a little bit about some of the cases that were a little bit different from the normal cases that you encountered so far?
I think the other cases that are difficult, where they actually are late for the lessons, and they are told that the doors will only be open for 15 minutes late, and any after 15 minutes or more than that, the student will not be allowed to enter the auditorium. Okay. So there was this particular student who was actually rushing from another module, and obviously the module is very far away, and just his poor time management could not make it in time for the module for Roots and Wings. So he insists of getting in, and that's where I actually went out, because there was someone at the door that was handling it. But then she could not handle him, because he was being very aggressive. So I then came. She highlighted that to me, so I came out and addressed the situation. So what I did was I actually first of all calmed him down and tell him that thank you for his time, for rushing all the way here, but because we cannot disrupt the class, and they are all in groups. If I would have let him in, everybody would be looking at him, and it would be a disruption to all, because I won't know where to fit in the group.
Okay.
Because they have already done the first assignment.
Okay.
So now it's a group exercise. So it will be very destructive to the entire group if I put him in any one. And there are groups of 4, so he'll be the odd one out. So I said that what I can do for him is that to ask him to email to me and to see whether this component, if he missed out, will it affect his overall score. So if he and I asked him, have you been submitting all the other assignments? And he said, yeah, he did. He had done all except this closing assignment. So I said, then it should not be an issue because you have done all the assignment. This attendance or this closing workshop is a very small fracture of the entire grading component. So I said that even though if he missed this, it doesn't make any difference because he will still pass the module.
Okay.
So I told him to drop me an email. Then he felt calm and he was relaxed and he smiled. And then he said that, okay, I see you just drop an email directly to me and I'll address you the next day. So when I went back the next morning, I saw the email and I checked his scores and he actually already passed without even attending the closing. So that was one way I handled it very well. So I was quite pleased with that.
Sure. So in this particular case, it was a mixture or combination of what you told him on the spot, where he was trying to get into the class,
Correct.
and what you communicated to him over email after the class.
Correct.
So what were some of the things that you said to him before the class started? I mean, during the class, which helped him to calm down.
Oh, I first of all thank him for his time to rush here because I said I know I could see you are very tired and I know that you rush from one faculty from one faculty to another to the new town where our module was held, and I know that he was actually rushing and he did rush, so I respect that, but I also must tell him that we have certain guidelines and also rules when we start our module. We cannot disrupt, and it's half an hour already in session.
Okay.
And our module is only 90 minutes,
right,
and he already wasted half an hour of it.
Okay.
So it's not fair to him. So I actually explained to him why he can't go in, rather than telling him no, you can't go in. Like give him the reasons why, and then he calmed down and he understood, and that's where to make him to add on, to tell him that this is a very small fraction. If he has been submitting his assignments and if he attended the opening workshop, then this is even though he missed this, he will still pass the module.
Okay.
So to rest assured, I told him to drop me an email so that I can address it to him and confirm that he has really made through the module.
Okay. Do you think there are elements of this that you can borrow or use in that case of plagiarism with the other student? Things that you possibly could have said or done to calm the student down before he becomes agitated or
maybe during the interview I should be more calmer, because I was also very anxious because it's my first time experiencing something like that. So that's where I was actually quite stern, and because to me, if you pressurize something, it's quite serious. So I took the matter very seriously. So maybe that made the student a bit worried and also keep denying it.
Right.
So maybe I should actually tone down a little bit and play it a more calmer way.
Right. So I guess it's pretty common in communications between two humans, especially between a student and a counsellor like us, is when your tone isn't right, or when you start out with the wrong kind of tone. When the student knows that you are accusing him of something, or you immediately put the student on the defensive.
Yeah.
So whatever reaction you get from a student will not be positive.
Correct.
Which is exactly what happened in this case.
Yes.
So maybe if you do encounter another similar situation in the future, you could think of a bigger picture and thank the student for coming for all the classes as a start, because I think the student did put in some effort at least to meet most of the other criteria set in the curriculum, but it's just that he chose to plagiarize for this particular assignment.
Yeah.
So give him credit for what it's worth, for what he has done for the past few assignments, but you need to put that up front first, so that he knows that his efforts are appreciated. And then at the end of it, talk about this in a more calmer tone and manner. Okay. So do you agree with what I just said?
I think it makes more sense, and also it actually put a different mood and light to the session that I'm going to have with the student.
Okay. So how do you find your career advisory work so far? I mean, I know that you've been advising an average of 20 to 25 students a month. So how do you find the experience so far?
So far it's good. You know, at the end of the day, after coaching them, you know, I feel that, you know, I've done something good. You know, I put a smile on my face. So I'm actually very happy because it actually, I know that I'm helping them and helping them to achieve what they want. So, you know, like, you know, help them with their resumes and so on and so forth. So I think these make me feel good at the end of the day because I'm helping a student.
And do you think you'll be able to share some of the best practices and how you help the students better over time with myself and with some of the other team members?
Sure.
If you have time?
I would. In fact, I'm writing down all the best practices on tips of sharing. So I actually have wrote them down.
Okay.
So I was thinking of doing it during some mid-year review. So I'll be sharing with that.
Okay, all right. Well, it was great talking to you, Dave, and thanks for the time to talk to me.
Okay,
and then
no
we'll
worries.
catch up another time soon.
Sure.
All right?
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Bye.